Your favorite oldies all weekend long. Oldies 99.9.
Welcome back to The Day the Music Died. This is your host, Rod Wolf. A few moments ago, we left you in Nashville. It was November of 1956, and Buddy Holly had just finished his third and final recording session for Decca Records. His second single release on that label was a failure, and when Buddy returned home to Lubbock, Texas, he was more determined than ever to be successful. Back home, Buddy and his drummer, Jerry Allison, nicknamed J.I., continued to practice together. During late 1956 and early 57, Buddy and J.I. were taping many of their practice sessions. The two continued to rehearse one particular song that was recorded for Decca during the July 1956 session. Also right around this time, a neighbor from nearby Happy, Texas, was climbing the national charts with a hit record.
Well, all I want is a party doll. Come along with me when I'm feeling wild. To be ever loving, true and fair. To run her fingers through his hair. To run her fingers through his hair. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. I'll make love to you, to you. I'll make love to you. Be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. Come along and be my party doll. I'll make love to you, to you. I'll make love to you.
Party Doll by Buddy Knox had been recorded at a studio in Clovis, New Mexico, just about 100 miles from Lubbock. A sister of Buddy Knox's guitar player lived in Lubbock, and she suggested that Holly and his group drive to Clovis, cut some demos, and mail them to Roulette Records, the same label that had just released Party Doll. The Clovis studios were owned by Norman Petty, a man who had a rather unique theory about studio time. Rather than charge his artists, who used his facilities by the hour, he would charge them by the song. He felt that watching a clock would stifle their creativity. And so the boys were off to meet Norman Petty in Clovis, New Mexico. This time around, Holly's band consisted of J.I. on the drums, bass player Larry Wellborn, and Nicky Sullivan, a guitar-playing friend who was going to help out with some background vocals. It was February 25, 1957, that Buddy and his group recorded a new version of the song that Holly and J.I. had written. The finished demo was sent to the New York offices of Roulette Records, where it was promptly turned down. They thought it sounded too much like Party Doll. At this point, Norman Petty had enough faith in the song to begin playing it for some of his record company contacts. Petty first gave the demo to Mitch Miller, who at that time was responsible for signing many artists to Columbia Records. But Mitch Miller was anti-rock and roll music, so he turned down the opportunity to purchase the master. Finally, Petty found someone who believed in the song. It was Bob Thiel, the head of Brunswick and Coral Records. And ironically, those labels were subsidiaries of Holly's first label, Decca. In fact, Bob Thiel thought the demo was so good that he purchased it and released it as is. Buddy had re-recorded the song that he had originally recorded for Decca, only this time it was recorded the way he wanted it, the way he had heard that song inside his head all the time. And to coin a phrase, the rest is rock and roll history.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, you give me all your loving and your dirty loving, all your hugs and kisses and your money too. Well, you know you love me, baby. Still you tell me maybe that someday, well, I'll be blue. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. When you say goodbye, yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, when Cupid shot his dart, he shot it at your heart. So if we ever part, then I'll leave you. You sit and hold me and you tell me boldly that someday, well, I'll be blue. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave, you know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day. Ooh, ooh, that'll be the day. Ooh, ooh, that'll be the day. Ooh, ooh, that'll be the day. Staying at home, waiting for you, just won't get it 'cause you say we're through. Well, I'm looking for someone to love, I'm looking for someone to love. Well, if you're not here, but baby, I don't care, 'cause I'm looking for someone to love. Playing the field all day long, since I found out I was wrong. Well, I'm looking for someone to love, I'm looking for someone to love. Well, if you're not here, baby, I don't care, 'cause I'm looking for someone to love. Caught myself thinking of you, you can't love me and another one too. Well, I'm looking for someone to love, yeah, I'm looking for someone to love. Well, if you're not here, baby, I don't care, 'cause I'm looking for someone to love. Drunk man, streetcar, foot slip, there you are. Well, I'm looking for someone to love, I'm looking for someone to love. Well, if you're not here, but baby, I don't care, 'cause I'm looking for someone to love. I'm looking for someone to love, I'm looking for someone to love. I'm looking for someone to love, I'm looking for someone to love.
There's the first hit record for Buddy Holly and the Crickets. I'm Looking for Someone to Love was the flip side of That'll Be the Day and was recorded at the same session. Between the time Brunswick had purchased the record and until it finally became a hit during the summer of 1957, Holly and the Crickets practically lived at Norman Petty's studios. Buddy's brother Larry Holly once said that everything Buddy did, he did with a sense of urgency, that he wasn't going to have a lot of time. Many of the recording sessions lasted for days and virtually went around the clock. In April, a song was recorded that exemplifies Holly's recording techniques. He not only double-tracked his voice, but double-tracked 2 guitar parts as well. Now, other pop stars like Les Paul and Mary Ford had experimented with double-tracking during the 1950s, but no rock and rollers were using the technique to the extent of Buddy Holly. As technology in the recording industry advanced, artists in later years would use up to 32 tracks to add to their arrangements, but back in 1957, there sat Buddy and the Crickets working for over 6 hours trying to double-track the song until it achieved the sound that Buddy Holly wanted. The song was called Words of Love, and it's a Buddy Holly masterpiece.
Hold me close and tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real. Words of love you whisper soft and true. Darling, I love you. Let me hear you say the words I want to hear, darling, when you're near. Words of love you whisper soft and true. Darling, I love you.
The song That'll Be the Day didn't crack the top 100 until August of 1957. But months before that, Norman Petty had made up his mind that he was going to promote Buddy Holly as a separate entity. That'll Be the Day was on Brunswick Records, and the label listed the artist as the Crickets, not Buddy Holly and the Crickets. At the very same time the record-buying public was just discovering the new group, Petty worked out a deal with Bob Thiel, whereby Coral Records would release records listing only Buddy Holly as the artist. Because Holly was less than well known at that time, that the incredible song Words of Love was not a hit. It was released around the same time, and although it never hit the charts for Buddy, it didn't go unnoticed. A Canadian group called the Diamonds had just enjoyed a million-selling hit called Little Darlin'. The song had originally been on the rhythm and blues charts for a group called Maurice Williams and the Gladiolas, but the Diamonds' cover version of that song sold 10 times more records than the original. The next release after Little Darlin' would be a cover version of Words of Love.
Hold me close and tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real. Oh, words of love you whisper soft and true. Darling, I love you. Oh,
hold me close and tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real.
Earlier in our salute to Buddy Holly, I mentioned that rock historians have often stated that the Holly sound of the 1950s became the British sound of the 1960s. The Crickets were the first guitar-based, self-contained rock group. And by that I mean Buddy Holly and the Crickets wrote, arranged, produced, and performed their own records. They were the first to be completely successful at that. Their interplay of vocals with rhythm and lead guitars was a true groundbreaking during the infancy of rock and roll, and it didn't go unnoticed overseas either. John Lennon and Paul McCartney were Holly fans, and they patterned many of their early recordings after his style. Their greatest tribute to Buddy came in the form of the LP Beatles 6. On that album, the group recorded a version of Words of Love, and it was true to the original. The Beatles knew they couldn't improve on perfection. Listen again to just a little bit of Holly's original Words of Love.
Hold me close and tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real.
Now let's listen to the Beatles version of that very same song.
Hold me close and tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real. Words of love you whisper soft and true. Darling, I love you.
You're listening to The Day the Music Died. This is your host, Rod Wolf. I'll be back in just a moment as Buddy, Holly, and the Crickets hit the top and hit the road.
Long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile.
Oldies 99.9.